Welcome to the Fit Femme Project Alignment Podcast. It is here that we cultivate and gather all who have been through it in fitness, relationships, careers, lifestyle changes, and unforgettable crucial life pivots trying to achieve their most sovereign selves. We're here to provide you with thought-provoking, detailed stories and information from truly fascinating men and women from all walks of life, professions, generations, and modern-day sagas who speak to their rawest, darkest moments that made them the strong, decisive, humble, helpful, healing people that they are today. We ask them to hold nothing back because life is a multi-dimensional pursuit to be stronger, healthier, and more aligned mentally, emotionally, and physically. Let's go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the FFP Alignment Podcast. We're sitting here as usual with Coach Lindsey. How are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
Good. You look all done up for a Friday morning.
I am. As you know, I'm traveling this weekend, the whole
Oh,
weekend. So
I did not know
I
that.
am checking off boxes and getting prepped, packed with every bite of food that goes in my mouth because I'm on prep, plus what I'm bringing to the lake house we're going to, plus my kids' bags, my bags, and arranging the dogs and my work schedule. What are you doing?
Well, I too am traveling today. Oh, I forgot to tell you that.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, you didn't even tell
I'm
me that on your
sorry.
check-in. What the heck?
I didn't. And I realized that like the day after, I was like, oh, shoot, I forgot to tell her I was traveling this week. Well, I also decided to do it a little bit last minute.
Yes.
With that stuff I was dealing with, I wanted to wait till I knew what was going to happen with that versus because I didn't want to like drop, all this money on plane tickets and then like feel guilty about that with what was going on. You know what I mean?
Yes. It's not fun to
And
do something and then wish you hadn't. Yeah.
exactly. Even though I probably would have gotten over it. But don't ever procrastinate on plane tickets because it probably would have been a lot cheaper had I done it when I decided to go.
I hate that, but
But
yeah.
yeah, so I'm just going to go home to Omaha. My niece's birthday party is Saturday. It's the cutest thing. Let me show you her little, it's a dinosaur princess theme. Look at that.
That's so good. That is a dinosaur wearing a tiara, and I have never been happier.
It's so freaking cute. Her mom, which is my brother's wife, she's so creative. She's so like DIY, and she's really, really good at it. And all like makes these fantastic balloon arches. Just kind of just whips it right up. She's one of those homemakers that you're just like, that's not
You're
fair.
like, you're doing it right. You're doing a good job. You deserve to be a
She,
homemaker.
exactly. She and her kids. Oh, she's like, their kids are like the ones that you look at and you're like, I'll take that one. That's what I
Yes.
want.
One of those, please. Thank you.
Yeah, because there's one super cute and they're always in a good mood. I mean, despite some stuff, but like they're always happy. They always want to have fun and they're good kids. And like, that's the dream.
Yes, go home. Go immerse yourself in that because that is the
Yeah,
dream.
it really is. But anyway, so yeah, we're having our party on Saturday. And then I'm just going to stay through the week and I get back next Saturday night. Um, So everyone's excited that I'll be there, kind of, but Mark can't come, which is so disappointing for
Oh,
them. Like,
I
is
bet
Mark
Uncle
coming?
Mark's fun. Yeah, Uncle Mark
Yeah,
a good time.
he's a good time and he is fun. So they're like, Kayla, you're good, but we've had enough time with you.
I like Mark. I would want him at my birthday party too.
Aw, tell him you said that. He's a good egg.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
like
so
him.
me too.
Something another thing we have in common.
We like our people,
We
our
like Markle
boys.
Sparkle. Yes,
Oh, Markle Sparkle. He's a walking green flag, I'll tell you that.
he is. He's a fun guy. I like him. I like him. I do.
Oh, that makes my heart warm. Okay, everyone. Bye. Just kidding.
Okay, y'all have a great day.
Yeah, have a great day. But yeah, I'm excited. It will be really hot. And one of the things, her actual birthday is on Monday. I might play hooky from work, but I probably shouldn't because they want to take her to the zoo. And the zoo in Omaha, I think I've told you, is like
Girl,
the
I've heard
biggest,
about
best
it.
one in the world.
I've
It's
heard about it
huge.
because my cousin played college baseball. And as you know, that's where
Yeah.
they have the World Series. And they went when he was in college. This has been some years ago. But my husband was like, we should go. And I was like, we should go. It didn't work out for whatever reason. But I was like, we're taking the kids out of school and we're going to that dang zoo.
Yes. I haven't been to it in a long time, and I know it's gotten, because since they moved the baseball stadium, which is right across the street from there, the original Rosenblatt, where they had the World Series, they bought that property and expanded, and it's like even bigger and better. You need a solid, it's kind of like Disney World, where if you want to get through it in a good mood, have multiple days to do
Yeah.
it. But it'll be
Yeah.
super hot.
That's a commitment because I have I mean, maybe, hey, I'm still living life. I'm still learning new things. And there may be something that comes up where I just can be completely and totally like invested in it and time flies by. But my experience with myself thus far in 45 years is I got about an hour on anything. If it
Oh,
sucks, 20 minutes. Like my zoo, I'm done in 20 minutes. And people
yeah.
say that, and they said it about Disney too, and I'm like, "Oh, no, baby, I could go for about an hour and I'm done. Like, maybe come back the next day, maybe skip, but I'm just not a stay all day kind of person on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Museums, exhibits, all of it. Like, I lose interest in a place like that after about an hour.
Yeah, I definitely have a routine, like, because obviously the zoo is outside, it's summer. I can commit to an afternoon or morning, whichever.
Morning,
Um,
morning.
well, there's a lot of indoor stuff too. So, like, I know that I'll have chances to cool down, and like, I obviously need to sit down and have lunch, relax, then hit the streets again. As long as I have those little breaks, I can do
Yeah,
an
it
afternoon.
that's true. If it's really cool and I can go somewhere and have a nice lunch and sit down and, you
Yeah.
know, maybe enjoy a cool coffee while I'm doing it, I think that
Mm-hmm.
extends my shelf life. But I can't go like
Yes.
my dad. My dad was the worst. Like he reads every plaque. He
Oh,
has the
no, one
seat.
of those.
Oh my god! One day I'll tell you about how I had a mental breakdown in Graceland.
I was that day today because that sounds hilarious.
Oh no, it was just like, I mean, I have never felt like a cartoon so much before in my life where they see like the level like
Yeah.
rising and then the ears go, that was me. He had in his headphones and first he would
Oh,
listen to what the headphone said and then he would pause it and then he would read the little story on the plaque in Graceland.
I've never been to Graceland, but is it?
It's fine. It's an old house. It's really cool. It smells like ghosts in there, but damn.
Yeah, I'll scan it. If something looks interesting, I'll read it. But otherwise, I'm just oh, nice fishy. Oh, pretty shark.
Correct.
Great.
Ah, snake. Yeah.
Monkeys.
That one looks like you. Ha ha ha. Okay. Yeah, I'm done.
I will say what is the most fun about it is going with kids who are just constantly in awe of the world, and that's heartwarming.
Yes.
You need a little piece of that once in a while, like, oh wow, look at that snake. I'm like, oh yeah, great. Like
Like you're right. It's
a little
terrifying. I
reminder.
forgot. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll have a good time. Don't worry, I will go to the gym, my mommy's gym, even though it's a little bit further away than I'd like, but I'll make it work.
Hell yeah, you are.
Okay. Anyhow, let's dive into our to be topic today. We are talking about dieting mistakes. which we've talked about before, but
Yes.
it's just something that is a topic that definitely always need to be recycled because
Yeah.
you're not going to scroll all the way down through the archive and click and listen to it. So we definitely need to keep on top of that education when you're in a, well, depending on where you plan on going with it, but whether it be dieting the bad way versus like a cut, which is has a better reputation to it, right? The sound,
Right.
the
Yeah.
word connotation. Yeah.
Yeah. That's because I like, well, either way you spin it, there are glaringly obvious mistakes from being a coach and a dieter, right? Over the years, there are some things that are all encompassing that are just generally mistakes for anybody that are also really common. So
Okay.
those are the specific ones I wanted to dive into today.
All right. Clash is in session.
Please take your seats. No. But okay, so the first one that I don't know, it's talked about some, but when you are going into a diet, work very hard and do your due diligence to change your mindset from weight loss to fat loss.
Yep.
And set that in stone, like pour concrete over that idea and make a cast of it in your brain. And as you go through and you're like, man, I feel like I should have lost 2 pounds this week. I feel like I could expedite this if she would let me eat less or assign more cardio. I am here for fat loss. And then going into, of course, it always helps if you have a coach, but even if you don't, doing the research and the due diligence necessary to have reasons and explanations behind what fat loss looks like versus weight loss. So I think most people would say, yes, fat loss is where you lose body fat, and weight loss is just weight off the scale.
Yeah.
However, weight loss, when done just for the sake of weight loss, which it's easy, that is cheap and easy. I can make somebody lose 5 pounds in 1 week. And some of that would be from very little
Ooh, sounds
very
great.
right? Exactly. But when you break it down into what did I just lose? Water, a bunch of water weight because I could cut your carbohydrates out
I
and
was gonna
have
say,
less
what would you
fluid.
do? What would you
Cut your
do for
carbs,
that 5 pounds? Yeah.
cut your carbs, cut your fat. I could even cut your protein and just put you on a really low calorie diet that you could sustain for a small amount of time. And
Yeah.
I could get that scale to come down, like I said, 5 pounds in a week, no problemo. But what I have done is taking away water weight mainly because carbohydrates are what carries water through your body. So you drop that water weight. Next is going to be a little bit of muscle mass,
Mm-hmm.
which, man, if you've ever tried to gain muscle, it is not easy. It is not quick. And you want to do everything in your power to negate any kind of muscle loss, even when you are dieting or cutting or whatever you want to call it. That is a huge mistake. Not
Yeah.
caring where the weight comes from. So, the number one thing is to change your mind into a smart and competent position of, I want to lose body fat. And then from that place and no other place, then start deciding on and diving into strategy and protocol on how to make that happen.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the number one mistake though. Is I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight, and I
Yeah.
just want
Yeah.
to see the weight come off. And I have been in this headspace before of, I don't care about all of this stuff about muscle and blah blah blah, doing it the right way and sustain it. I have to lose weight first, and then I will worry about the details of all of this other stuff that seems so complicated and so scientific and so basically uninteresting right now.
Yeah. I think yeah, everyone's been there. I sometimes, my brain will teeter a little bit where I'm just like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sick of, like, I feel like because you know how my body is that it's like, because I'm not perfect, but don't shake your head at me. But still, I'm still making, you see how my results have come, like, where it's just like plateau, 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 down. Yes, the
Yep.
motivation, it's there, it's working. Yes, I believe in myself again, and then it's like
You just
plateau,
hit on
plateau,
number
plateau.
two. How
I
perfect
did?
are we? You just hit on number two. Yeah.
What's up?
What's up? How you like me now, coach?
Number
So
one
yes,
client.
you number one client with the number. It's also have the number 2 point. But just to solidify that in, number one mistake when you go into dieting or cutting is not being clear on what your actual goals are.
Yeah.
Your actual goal, no matter how emotional you feel or desperate you feel in the moment, your goal, I promise you, is to lose body fat and not muscle mass and not water. Definitely not
Yeah.
muscle mass. And water is just that's just silly. Just to want to be less water, have less water in your body. Like that's just crazy talk.
No one would ever want that.
No, well, no, but it does feel good to see the scale come down and like you just kind of like perfectly transitioned into the number 2 point. Do not constantly seek inspiration and motivation for you to stay on track. Because what
Oh, yeah.
you are dealing with is relying on emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And when you rely on emotion, you rely on emotion. So when you feel high and you watched a cool YouTube video, or you got a drop on the scale, or you saw a quote that inspired you, and I think this is a good time to go into the difference between inspiration and motivation. A lot of people are like, I don't have motivation. I don't have motivation. Well, I think people confuse a lot is you don't feel inspired right now. You don't have that little zip of
Mm-hmm.
energy, or you don't feel that little push from something outside of you to perform your protocol, to execute your plan. So you're really relying on an extreme emotion, right? And that's setting you up to fail. That is what about when you are having PMS? What about when, there's something going on in your family? If you're in a fight with your significant other, or, there's something going on with a kid, there is no motivational speaker on YouTube that is going to make you feel like sticking to your meal plan.
Yeah.
And so instead of relating your abilities to perform based on a feeling, you have to start relating it to proof. That is what's actually motivating. It is motivating to me that on a weekend where things are going to be more difficult than normal, on a weekend where I am not going to be eating things that other people are eating because they do not align with my goals right now. I don't want emotion to be involved in it at all. I don't need to be inspired to go make my oatmeal and have it packed up and ready to go. I don't need to listen to a motivational speaker to make me want my goals. It's cool and it's fun. And I love that kind of stuff. I love to
Yeah.
listen to podcasts like ours that break things down, that are in the same headspace as me, that help me remember, like, yes, this is cool. This is elevated. I am doing the right thing, even if everybody else is eating donuts right now, and I love donuts. What's more powerful and more motivating to me is actually when I don't. And I get through that moment and I get through that impulse.
Yeah.
And I just need results and proof that I have the ability and the power to choose my discipline and the path that leads me to what I want the most. I don't bow down to impulses. I don't want the same things everybody else wants. So it only aligns that the way that I live is not going to look like everybody else's too.
Right.
Right.
Did it take some time for that internal script to be flipped? Like you said, where you're now motivated by doing those hard things and what against what everybody else is doing. Like, I'm sure it wasn't always like that.
It took a long time for them not to feel hard.
Yeah.
It took a long time for making that decision to be like, yeah, it's going to be some extra work for me today, and I'm going to have to schedule in my time a lot tighter. I had to get up earlier today to fit everything in. But to make that decision to where I don't have to now say, well, I'm just going to do my best with whatever food is available to me. It took a long time for that not to feel like a mental back and forth. It would be so much easier if I just tried to fit in XYZ. Oh, but I have a lot going on today and I don't want to be stressed out. I'm only human. And I'll just maybe like try to run by the grocery store when I get there. All of those rationalizations and justifications, absolutely. It takes a while to, I think, fully accept self-responsibility. And no one's going to make the things I want to happen other than me, because I am me. I'm the captain of this ship. Do I want it to sink? Or do I want it to like crush through the iceberg and split it in half?
That is
Which
so
hill do I want to be standing on? Yeah, that takes time, and it takes failure. It takes failure, like kind of repetitive failure, but not beating myself up about it, not being like, oh, see, you don't have it. You're not strong enough. Being like, what does this feel like? Not great. In hindsight, why couldn't you get up an hour earlier to pack your meals and feel accomplished? Why couldn't you feel the impulse to eat, to skip the gym, to have the thing because one bite won't hurt, and all these little things that we tell ourselves? What if you didn't? What if you just let that moment come and you let it go? Because the time's going to pass. Yeah. Are you a winner or a loser? That's the big commitment there. And it's all about
so funny.
Delayed gratification. What do you want the most?
Yeah. I kind of had that same conversation with myself at the beginning of this week because I think it was on Sunday night, I had finally bought my plane tickets for today. By the way, yes. I have not flown any other airline besides Southwest for 1,000 years, and today is going to be the first day.
Because I just hope it goes well for you. I am so upset by hearing people's stories.
That's why I'm kind of stressed about it, because it's United, which the ones I've been seeing in the news has been American lately. So I'm confused on how the checked bags work, because I see where, oh no, you're checked despite what your layover stuff is, your checked bags will get to your final destination. And then I see on their website, no, if you have a layover, you have to go get your bag, recheck it. But like,
you've got to be kidding me.
I'm going to ask the lady at the counter tonight. I was like, can we verify like what I have to do for my checked bag? Because I think maybe that's why people like lose their bags constantly, because of these little things. I'm so nervous.
That's not little. That's huge. That's big. Huge. And I'm going to plane travel for the first time for a competition.
Yeah.
Next month. And like, I've ordered this backpack Rosetta told me about so that I can have my food. Because that's like literally like, you have to have some things. You have to have your food, your suit, and your shoes.
Yeah. The basics.
So yeah. And so like, I'm nervous about that, but like, God, our girl Alex that came to the Nashville Fit Expo, 24 hour travel there and back.
Oh,
Bro,
where's she from?
she was coming from South Carolina,
Okay. Ew.
but it was American. I think she said it was American.
Anyway, I'm nervous, but we'll make it
I'm
through.
nervous too.
Plus, having to pay for a checked bag is the I'll die on that hill. Anyway, so I knew Sunday night that I was leaving on Friday, and I knew I just thinking ahead is one of the better things you can do for yourself. Like just thinking
Yeah,
ahead.
it is.
Maybe it's you could call it planning, which is the same thing, but just thinking ahead, like I know how I'm gonna be this week. So I want to get like all my workouts in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I can have Thursday and Friday to not feel like I have to rush up real quick in the morning, hit the ground running. And I'll be busier. I'll need to pack. Like I need to do this. I need to do that. I want to fit this in. So it's like just kind of like mentally Tetrising my week. And there were
Yes.
some days because I knew it would happen. It's always going to happen, especially when you work out in the morning. Maybe I should just do it tomorrow. I'm just,
Or like I'm an afternoon workout person today.
yeah, I used to be that way, but switching to the mornings has been a godsend.
Yeah, that
Even though
helps a lot of people.
it takes less effort than it did in the afternoon
Yep.
eventually.
But and it just depends, I think, on how people run and of course what you're used to.
Yeah.
But I will say when you are in a little cycle of wait, I keep missing these afternoon workouts because I'm tired or the kids need something or whatever's going on, you might have to consider the scary morning workout thing. But what you
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
mentioned is something that I so highly encourage, especially moms to do. But like anybody, because we like you've got two cats, but weeks change. And like taking that time to like just mentally wrap your thoughts around what does this week look like? Just flat out, like not judgment, not like, oh, I only like to work out in the morning, like, oh, I only like to work out in the afternoon. What do you need to do to get your shit done?
Yeah.
That's it. Like, what needs to be, kind of worked around? What food do you need to have prepared the day ahead, or for
Yeah.
me, 3 days ahead? And just knocking that out without wallowing in the discomfort of change.
Well, and the
Like,
big thing too was knowing just like I know myself enough to know when I'm not, what days of the week I'm not going to be motivated. Little things like that where, okay, I know probably Wednesday I'm going to be like, let's just move this to third. That's when I start to compromise with myself. Like maybe we should change the plan because I know myself. But at the beginning of the week, I told myself, it's I know you're gonna get here, Caitlin, but it's gonna be worth it because Thursday and Friday, it's gonna be so nice to wake up and not have to go to the gym, all this stuff. And then Wednesday rolled around, and I was so close to just let's just work out Thursday. It's not that big of a deal. I'm still doing it. I'm still getting it in. But then I reminded myself of the conversation I had with myself Sunday night.
see,
Like,
I did the same thing. I did the
yeah,
same thing. I worked out like I was going to rest yesterday. But then knowing everything I had going on today, plus we were going to podcast, I'm like, no, baby, I have bad news for you. Leg day, bro. It's leg day,
yeah,
regardless. And I did have, I did leg day on Monday, so I had plenty of leg day rest. But yeah, switching that up. But guess what? It was the right thing. It was the right thing to do.
yeah.
So we can't even really argue with that, right?
And it's so, and the just like you said, the reward of it. And I, in that moment where I was about to compromise with myself, like, no, can you, like, it's gonna be so nice to wake up and do what you planned. Because
Do what you planned. That's it.
yeah,
And like, don't, again, we go back to letting your feelings and emotions in just your old self get in your way, because your old
yes,
self is the exact reason you haven't hit your goals. That voice with the justifications or the excuses, that's the old you. And that is exactly who put you in this position where you are seeking change. That is not the voice you want to listen to.
mm-mm, mm-mm,
And that's why you have to rely on decisions. And for me, morning Lindsay makes those decisions. Like, what does today look like? What do I need to have that happen? And then we go forth. And as, you know, energy levels may dwindle or the day picks up and things start to feel, what was the word you were using for mornings? What were you saying? Everything feels so
Oh,
like
tizzy.
hectic. Tizzy.
In a
As the
tizzy. Yeah.
tizzy ensues,
Yes.
right? It you're that old voice like, you know what would make it a little easier on you, pumpkin? If you just didn't work out today. If you just like don't fix your dinner, don't even worry about that. You just drive through and get you some tacos. You deserve it. You work hard. You work hard. You'll do better tomorrow. You'll
That
do
is
better
the
tomorrow.
perfect internal dialogue.
It's because I hear it.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm like a special person or that I was born with an innate ability to do anything. It's because I hear it. The only difference between me and someone who's not on track for their goals is I recognize that
Mm-hmm.
as still all these years later, my old habits coming back in to pull you back, to pull you back. And I don't judge it. I don't there's no harshness. I don't listen to it at all. It just
Yeah.
comes, it just like goes like this.
Yeah. It's that little, that's just like that little devil, the devil, and then the little angel. Remember that movie,
Yep.
Emperor's New Groove, in that scene?
Yes, that's it.
That was the funniest scene I saw in theaters to date. So funny. But it's true. It's like when you recognize that it's like still a part of you, it's that separate voice, but it's just not you anymore.
It's
I've
not.
I've fallen privy to it for sure and still do here and there. But again, like you said, it takes a lot of failure in
It does.
practice. Yeah.
And the thing is not to judge yourself on the failures, but do judge yourself on whether or not you are learning a lesson from that specific type of
Yes.
failure. Because
Yeah.
if you're just doing the same thing, if you're every night not prepping your meals and telling yourself you're going to do better, but then not prepping your meals, judge yourself on that because that's not good enough.
Yeah. Yeah. You're smart enough to know like what you can do better, but are you actually taking action for it is a different
Yeah.
story.
And if you know, it's like the bully on the playground. If you don't deal with it, it's going to keep kicking your ass.
And you know, one things I when I've gotten to those points before where it's like, why am I not doing this? Like, what is it? I know this is what I need to do. Why am I not doing that? Because I'm constantly when I get to this point, whether it's the meal prep or the this thing or planning that thing, get to this point and I always, fail. And I think it's a great place for people to stop and like ask themselves some questions like, is there something I need to change about this? Like I
Mhm.
have to meal prep, my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then you don't eat any of it. That was me. Like, okay, I know meal prep is good for me. And this applies to any kind of situation. I know meal prep is good for me, but why am I not doing what I know I should be doing? Well, maybe it should look a little bit different. Let's just prep some rice, just prep some chicken. What do I feel like eating for lunch this week? That sounds great. Let's eat those and prep that. You know what I mean? Like it make it fit for you and not necessarily into the standard of what you see on social media or the influencer you love that does this thing. Like it's okay.
Oh, and it's like so funny because like I'm not saying I'm deep into prep is not even adequate. I've been dieting since January 1st. It is June. And so, you know, somehow Instagram knows that. Well, probably because of the videos I'll click on, but and it'll be like only eating donuts for one day, or only eating viral that kinds of stuff. And you're
Oh,
looking at it and you're like, man, that looks like a good time, right? And just like, and it's not even that you're ever going to be able to avoid all that kind of stuff, but how long do you engage with those videos? How long do you let those thoughts circle your head before you actively choose to turn your mind back to your goals? To
yeah.
think about, man, how cool is it going to be when I hit this goal and I feel good and I'm so confident and I didn't fail this time and I'm just like on top of this mountain I've been trying to climb for years. I can't wait. Turn your views back because the the default setting. for everybody in like just I don't know if you could say like America or our culture or whatever is cheap, fast, and easy.
Yeah.
And what that produces is dumb, overweight, and sad.
Yep, that's it, right.
So if you want to be dumb, overweight, and sad, then absolutely do what everybody else is doing. Eat the viral TikTok foods. Only eat donuts for a day and record yourself with a tray of crumble cookies in your car. Baby, do it all.
Oh,
But
yeah, I've
that is
seen
what you're
those.
signing up for. That's what you're signing up for. When you choose the path that is not as cool as me eating the exact same foods, not all the time, but I eat what I like, but also in the amounts and frequencies
Yeah.
that pull my goals closer to me. That's not as cool to watch on YouTube as me
It's not.
shoving in 6 hot
Snooze
dogs,
fest. Yeah.
right? And being a snooze fest is what makes people go, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And then being
Eat
like,
a
"Well,
burger.
you're not gonna believe how boring this is, but I'll tell you.
Yeah,
I'm eating foods that I like in the amounts and frequencies that pull my goals closer to me." Okay, goodbye.
yeah, right. One thing that has helped my mindset with all that, and you've taught me this because you're a great coach, but you got something in your
Mm.
mouth?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Dee, 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 dee. Anyway.
Coffee grounds. Oh my god. I
Ew.
had my last drink of coffee and it was only grit. I
Oh, I
died.
get that all
I'm
the
back.
time. That's why I
Oh
always leave
my
like
god.
one little sip left in my mug. There's always little
Well,
bits of grounds.
I just learned something from you. I
Uh,
almost died. I'm back.
it looked like you like swallowed vinegar.
I don't like a texture in a drink. I don't want pulp. I don't want
Oh,
a boba.
oh,
I don't want
oh.
anything in there.
I've learned something about you today. I
Oh,
don't like the ground. Like that one's weird. I feel like it's gonna do something. I don't know what.
so unexpected. So unexpected.
Ew.
It's in my teeth. Okay.
Always leave that last little bit. That's for sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, one thing that has helped me in my mindset when going through, because it is a boring process, it's not exciting, it's not,
Hmm.
the only thing that's motivating is when you do see the results, and those are, essentially far and few between.
Can't seem like that. Yeah, when you have an
Yeah.
unrealistic expectation, which we all do in the beginning.
Yeah. But what has helped me is that because you've described it as like a job, that it's this job. It's just what I got to do.
Hmm.
Just do it. It's not
And
fun.
to
Just like,
take pride in it, though, to be
yeah,
so
yeah,
like get your kicks off of. I hit protocol today. Like it wasn't even easy. Like I had to go to the dentist and I had to take my little stupid food and I was really, really hungry and I didn't get home when I thought I was, but I didn't drive through. I drank a bottle of water and calmed down and got home and ate my meal. And I feel that. I feel that so hard. Like, I want people to do a better job celebrating actual wins.
mm-hmm, yeah,
And that is in mastering that mundane and being like, okay, check mark. Let's do it again tomorrow. That felt amazing because that feels good when you lay
yeah,
down in bed at night and you just have that satisfaction, that peacefulness of job well done. I promise you that beats any pleasure you got from eating off plan or skipping the gym. Because while that does have a very short, instant gratification kind of reward, what you feel after it and knowing that you broke a promise to yourself again, you did something that was not the best thing for what you want the very most, and the price that you pay mentally, could be emotionally, it was not worth that little instant gratification. Like it never is. It's like how, drinking, going out and drinking. Yeah, you get a little like funsies, Yeah, you get a little funsies. You get that little euphoria feeling after what, depending on how much you drink, like 1, 2, 3 drinks, you get that little high.
Mm-hmm.
Then you spend the rest of the time drinking, chasing that high, right? That
Mm-hmm.
you never get back. It's all downhill from there and gets stupider and stupider. And then the next, what's the price you have to pay? It's more than 20 minutes. It's a lot more than 20 minutes.
That's so true.
Yeah.
No, I feel that like little check mark box satisfaction before the end of the day. It's usually when I'm done with my steps. I'll look at it and I'm
Yes.
like, it's 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock. I'm like, I did it. And I worked out this morning too. Like,
And I
there's
hit my
something, I don't
macros.
like, it's almost like I still have those mindset of like, is that it? Like,
I
okay,
know.
all
Because
right, I
it's
guess
not
that's
that
it.
damn hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not
Yeah.
as hard as we make it out to be. We
Yeah.
just get so in our heads in these
Yes.
little finite situations. And that is making a mountain out of a molehill. That's it. And if we just pause, being like, I acknowledge that I feel like this sucks right now, but I'm willing to take a little bang on the suckometer to get what I want. And it is what it is.
Yeah.
And we can go into a whole nother podcast, which would actually be a really good one. It's like finding joy in people and situations
Ooh.
without relying completely on booze and shit food to know that you're having a good time.
Yeah. That's a good topic.
Yeah, because it
Um,
was me for a long time. Like if I was having fun,
no one's
it was
stopping you.
off the rail. You couldn't.
Yes.
You
No.
couldn't. I was a
Same.
locomotive of disaster. Disaster
uh,
Black. Choo choo.
oh my gosh. I don't know if I'd ever call myself disaster, but yeah, I can go for it.
Listen,
Yeah. All right, do we need to go into our tough love corner or do you have a
I have
third?
one more, but I'll
Okay.
keep it short so we can
No,
keep
it's
our
fine.
podcast greatly.
Keep it long.
So number 3 is well, of course, it ties into all of them, but adjusting your expectations and how you rate your wins.
Okay.
So we're talking about dieting mistakes, so we're just going to talk about dieting and going back to the scale and judging whether or not you have won or lost by just the scale.
Mm.
We're women, first of all, but not even going into all of the other intricate things that make weight loss happen or not happen. Your body is going to fluctuate. You're going to check in one day and you're going to be PMSing or on your cycle, or some women, tend to spike up in weight during ovulation. But especially women with our more extreme natural hormone fluctuations. To me, that's all the reason in the world to not just judge progress based on weight loss. Of course, I work with a lot of women too, and digestion is a bigger issue than you would think it is. I
Mm-hmm.
know you don't struggle with that, but I would say the
Oof.
majority do struggle with even pooping once a day, right? All kinds of things go into that, and water weight. If I've got you on a really good training program, you're going to be inflamed sometimes. All kinds of different things.
Yeah.
So judging your success just on the scale, and if I could just brainwash every woman on my roster into judging their success on whether or not they executed their nutrition and exercise protocol, and that's it.
Not just the
The results
scale.
would
Yeah.
come faster
Yeah.
and the process would be so much more fulfilling, enjoyable, and sustainable.
Yeah. That's a good point. And a lot of people are still focused on the scale. And for me, I've kind of flipped this. that script. So before I was like, I didn't give a shit what the scale said. And now with where I'm at, we're paying a little bit more attention to what the scale is saying. And people are
Yeah.
like, don't pay attention to the scale. I'm like, well, no, but
No,
like that's just
I'm
where
with
I'm
you.
at. And yeah, and so
It matters. It's just not
yeah,
all that matters. It is
yeah.
a piece of the puzzle that is not a bigger piece of the puzzle than your sleep
I've had to
and where
remind
you are on your
myself though,
cycle.
since yeah, I've had to remind myself a little bit here and there that, you know, calm down, it's fine. Because
Oh,
yes, I do want
same
to
girl.
see, yeah.
Yes.
Because it's never
Same,
really
same,
mattered to
same.
me. And it's never been, this, thing that I've put on a pedestal. But since now I kind of am, but I also have to remind myself, like, no, relax. And now I'm starting to really relate to the people a little bit that do use the scale as their only metric. Like, I get to see that now. Like, I can relate to it now. When before I was like,
I
who
can
gives a
too.
shit?
I know. And it's like one of those things like, yeah, the skill doesn't matter unless I'm dieting.
Yeah.
And then it matters. And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter anymore, any less when you're dieting. But I'm also not one of those people that says the skill doesn't matter. It does. It tells its story. And when you're in a cut
Yeah.
and you're going to lose body fat, the scale should be going down.
Yeah.
However, it's not going to go down every week. It's not going to go down the same amount of weight, even every week or every month. It will go up while you are dieting, hitting your stuff exactly. And that's where the real test, I think, comes in during a really solid, successful diet cut is can you stay on your stuff? What if the scale goes up? Does that give you all the information you need to just quit and say this isn't working for me? And because that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It happens to me. And I have to remind myself like, nope, this is one of the most important reasons to have a coach. She knows the scale fluctuates. She's not passing judgment on that. I just need to give her good information week to week. That is my only job. Good information. Hit your macros, hit your exercise. If something needs to be changed, then it will be changed. And then you hit that protocol and you move on.
That is so true. Because, like, even though, like, I know you and know how you would respond, when I do a check in and my weight is up by 1 stupid pound, like, it's not that big of a deal. I'll often think, I'm like, well, what is she going to say?
She's
Oh.
going to cut my calories more. Yeah.
And then, like, you do your thing and you're like, oh, we're not going to worry about that. I'm like, I knew that. I knew she was going to say it. Like, why do I worry? Like, who am I? Like, that is not.
That's everybody though. And I
Yeah.
think again, like it's a really valuable part of coaching is you're going to have emotions. You're going to get stuck in a cycle in your head. And we don't generally have in real life nutrition and fitness experts.
Yeah.
You kind of need to hire that out and use your coach when you feel like you're in your head. When you feel like this isn't working for me, help. Like that's a big beauty in it is because it does help you to stay on track and be reminded of things you knew, but maybe you forgot. Maybe you didn't know. Maybe you need to like look at, oh, well, yeah, I'm on day 23 of a 28-day cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, me staying the same weight this week is probably a really cool thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, thank you. Now it's time for our tough love corner. We created this because I was like,
Yay!
let's add in some more fun to the podcast in ways in
Uh,
which people will love us more because we're tough love kind of gals,
well, I
right?
am. It's because I am a results oriented person is why I think that tough love and just kind of giving up. I'm never going to be this the warmest snuggliest coach you've ever had. I'm just not. So I might as well just embrace what the good Lord gave me to work with.
Exactly. Lean into it. So,
Yeah.
what do you got for us? What tough love do we need to hear today?
So, in the vein of little treats, and body positivity culture, which I like little treats and I like being body positive, but I don't like the connotation of excuses and bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I hear so much, and I see so many little, again, back to the motivational posters. I'm just human. I'm not perfect. And it's almost like people are making up these fake scenarios where someone is telling them, be perfect or you suck. Nobody's getting told that. Nobody's getting hollered at that they have to be perfect. And it'll be like, well, I completely fell. I went off the rails this weekend. I'm human. I'm not perfect. And that is missing the point. It's not even missing it. Like you're shooting backwards. It's
Yeah.
never about being perfect. It is trying your best in a situation, seeing where you didn't hit the mark and adjusting course to do better next time. And giving yourself the excuse of, well, I'm not perfect, to not try. It's not that you're not perfect. You didn't try at all.
Yeah.
Right? Like you went into a gas station and you got a hot dog, a bag of flaming hot Cheetos, and a Coke, and you're like, well, I'm not perfect.
Yeah. Oh.
That's not being perfect. That's not trying. That's not being willing to change your comfort level. That's not being willing to tell your inner toddler no.
You can walk
so
into
those
that
things are very
same gas
different.
station and grab a Core Power protein shake.
You can
and
grab
a beef
Core
stick.
Power. You can look at, kind of your nutrition goals and see if they have something to snack on that fits your goals. And if they don't, being like, well, I should have packed a little cooler. Lesson learned. And giving yourself that tough love, because you're going to be uncomfortable either way, right? You're going to be uncomfortable because you ate a bunch of crap and feel like a pile of doo-doo in the car and you feel like a failure. Or you're going to be uncomfortable because you're doing things in a different way, but you also feel accomplished and successful and mentally strong. Choose the latter.
Yeah. Amen. Fucking men.
You're not going to be perfect. We don't care. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
That's fake. I also don't do something and be like, oh, well, I didn't have a unicorn to ride. Yeah, like no shit, they don't exist. But don't use it as an excuse not to try your best. It's not about, no one cares. No one said you needed to be perfect. But I do encourage you big time to put your best effort out there and know that your actual best will be everything you need to achieve your highest goal.
Hallelujah. That should turn that into a little song.
Yeah, we need church music.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I can do church music.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Lindsey. These are always so fun, and we haven't done one in a while. But thank you for taking the time. We're both busy, but this is a nice getaway from the day.
This is a priority. Absolutely. You are welcome, Love Dumpling. Thank you for working with me on scheduling.
Of course. Well, everybody, everyone.
Anybody, everybody, all of you.
Thanks for listening. Rate and review as usual. Share this episode if it reminds you of
Unless
a
you don't
certain
like
someone.
it, then keep your opinions to yourself.
Yeah, F that. But until next time, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the FFP Alignment Podcast. Please support us by downloading, rating, and recommending us to your friends and family. Be sure to check us out on Instagram at the FitFemme Project. That's FITFEMME Project. And for those of you looking to find their essential balance of lifestyle and fitness, book a free consult by going to thefitfemmeproject.com. That's FITFEMME Project.com and click Apply Now. Until next time, this is the FitFemme Project Alignment Podcast.